when he does when he does do that. Now, you just actually just got off the Fall Out Boy tour with them, which is probably just ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, that was so much fun.
But now as far as the cities go at the end of the end of the song, how did you what was the deal with that? And obviously you had to shout out to Baltimore, which is, I got to keep it real. But pretty much what you did was make every mainstream city that when you go to play a show, you're gonna make them feel special because you pretty much shouted out to them.
Yeah, and that was definitely the idea. The list of cities, although it seems.
But it rhymes though, dude. Did it take you a while to fucking come up with it?
Yeah, it definitely did. It was probably the most tedious part of the record, trying to come up with all those cities and having them rhyme. But the cities basically represent all my favorite places that I've been and all the places that I still would love to go. So it's kind of just a tribute to all of that, and it's a lot of major party cities who I'm sure will be throwing down when the world does come to an end.
Right, clearly. When the world is ending, I'm throwing the party.
Yep.
Gabe Supporter. My favorite song of the album, and then we'll wrap things up because obviously God knows what to do. But speaking of that, how are the other? I know you guys. You're probably so stoked that the album is finally coming out, but now it begins once again, and now it begins, the interviews and the press and answering a lot of the same old questions. So I hope I'm not asking pretty much the same shit as other people are doing.
Nah, dude, you are well ahead of the curve. I'm not resorting to making up bullshit answers to your interview questions. So
yeah.
you know you're good.
Yeah. How was it? Have you gotten to that point yet where you have to just? Well, it's like, where'd your name come from? Oh, what'd you think of this?
Oh hell yeah! I just start telling lies for sure.
Yeah. Now, when you went over to Japan, did you have a translator?
Yeah, it was really cool doing interviews over there because a lot of the time there would be like 3 people in the room, 2 of whom didn't speak any English, and then one of them would kind of have to slowly translate, all the questions and answers back and forth. So interviews would take about 20 minutes longer than usual, but it was awesome. Right.
I remember, I think from the Urethra Chronicles or something, when Enema came out, they were in Japan, and they were talking about how interviews over there are just like the worst thing ever. Well, interesting, but the worst thing ever because the translation is just so hard. And the one time they had on film, this lady was just like, "Do you like getting enemas?" And Tom's like, "No, that would be fucking weird," like just shit like that.
For sure. There's a little bit of an awkwardness with the language gap, but
yeah, keep going.
The people over in Japan are fucking sweethearts, and it was such a good time to hear what they had to say and get into the questions with them, because a lot of the time they ask different shit, which definitely mixes it up a little bit.
Definitely, and I hope I do as well. How was working with Hoppus? I mean, I know I don't really keep bringing up the Blink references. I'm sure you guys had to do that you guys have done that for years, but it's got to be kind of cool that fucking you got to work with Hoppus, especially with all the who knew if he was ever even going to be coming back.
For sure. I mean, Hoppus is a great dude, and it was an incredible opportunity to get to work with that guy, and he's been awesome to us ever since. And it's a shame the song didn't make the record, but that's just kind of the nature of making an album. But I learned a lot from the dude. It's good to have him around now. He provides a lot of stellar advice. So he's a very sweet dude.
In more ways than one, I'm sure he gives you guys advice.
Oh yeah, dude. He tells me all about girls and dating and what movies to take your girls to and stuff like that. It's great.
Right. Clearly it's working. Yeah, right. But no, obviously you gotta give us out to that. That brings me up to this, the songwriting process. Now you guys have had plenty of time. Well, not plenty of time, but you guys did have a lot more time. And just to prove to the people out there that you guys were really fucking focused, and it's not like you just walked in, guys were shut off from doing any media during your recording phase. Believe me, I fucking tried. I would see Nano and these people. I'd see them at the bars. I'd be like, dude, I really just want to do a 5-minute phoner with them and to see how they're doing. And everyone's like, dude, no, they were really fucking settling down and focusing.
Yeah, we were on lockdown, man. We didn't really want any distractions. Working with 5 different production teams was one of the big reasons we had to kind of focus like that and really not take our minds off the album one second, because when you have that many people working on the project, it's very easy for the record to come out sounding like 5 different records, and one of the main things we wanted was for that not to happen. So we kind of just had to constantly have our heads down and in the game so that, you know, we could make sure that everything was going to come out right and consistent.
And just ball, pretty much.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. Songwriting process. Obviously, well, with the producer, you always want that person to be almost like the fifth member of the band. When you go in, no matter what band you are, you're not doing everything on your own. You know, you want to be able to have trust. You want to have a little bit of faith, but you also want to keep that raw edge that is all-time low. You want to keep the all-time low-ness, if you would.
For sure.
But since you did have, you know, especially on Warped Tour, there's a lot of not really a lot of downtime on Warped Tour, but just you guys have been touring non-stop. How many songs did you walk in with, or did you just have just all these different parts and stuff? Were you able to record anything on the bus, like via Pro Tools, and just have it like laid down and then go into studio or pre-production? How'd it go?
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much did go that way. We I wrote while we were on the road. I was writing a lot of demos. I actually used GarageBand because it's like the easiest thing to use ever.
Yeah.
And so by the time we actually hit the studio, I was walking in there with about 25 ideas, and you know those 25 ideas quickly get chopped down to, you know, the 10 or 11, you know, essentials, and then we wrote a couple more while we were in the studios, and it just kind of came together.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Hell yeah. Well, listen, let's wrap things up. Stella is one of my favorite songs. I really, really fucking like the song, and for all the tour production out there, I can envision the song like coming together. I can see it on two different ways. I can see it after you finish another song, just going into this one and just like whoosh. Or I can see this as like being the first song of the encore. And you know, the Blackout being just pretty much the story of my life. Another night, another score. Great fucking lyrics, dude. I love the lyrics on this album, dude, because it shows you're still having fun, but it's also that you're not, you know, it's not like you're trying to show off to a 16-year-old audience, because you do take on serious matters, especially in the song Therapy. But I'll get up to that in just a little bit. But the tempo turn, the breakdown in Stella, it's like bounce, 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 and you know the gang vocals, and once again Dawson's drums are just hollowed out, and I think you know, I can envision the whole song just screaming their balls off to this.
Hell yeah, dude, that was definitely the idea.
Yeah, it's like a pretty epic song. What song on the album is your favorite right now, even though, you know, within 3 months it might be different?
Dude, I think, to be honest with you, my favorite song on the album would have to be Too Much. It's the song that's caused the most drama, and I kind of love that. It's something that this band's never done before, and it was so much fun to write a song that was that kind of, it doesn't hide behind any bullshit or tongue-in-cheek lyrics or anything like that. It's just kind of, you know, the concept is right out on the table, and for that, you know, that honesty is something I've really never done before.